Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast, bringing you this week's Bank of Utah Championship out at the Black Desert Resort and Golf Club. As always, bringing you this week's wonderful episode, and good luck to Mike and the Blue Jays, by the way. Kenny Kim, what's up on the couch over there, Kenny Kim?
What's up, man? A little bit, we're back to golf again, taking these weeks off and week back on, but we're always grinding, doing our thing. I'm looking forward to this week. It should be a fun week. This course, this resort looks pretty money. I will have to say. I think Pat is going there with his boys and playing the Black Desert courses here in the next month or so. I think he's going out there to play. I'm jealous. I told him if anyone bails, I'm in. So just remember that, Pat. If you're watching, but yeah,
Pat definitely watches this show.
From what I've seriously doubted
during football season.
From what I've heard, the resort is really nice. So top-notch accommodation, stuff like that. So it should be a good week. The course is pretty nice. We saw a little bit of it last year. But before we move on, what was the last tournament that just played? Oh, the one in Japan.
The Baycurrent Championship.
The Baycurrent,
on the PGA Tour, yes.
Yeah. So I feel like you probably did better than me because we both had different points of view since it was a new course. It was not a great week for me. The last couple, Sanderson and the Baycurrent haven't been that great after a really strong Silverado start to the fall. Hopefully we can turn that back around.
Yeah, I think I had a great day. I had a first-round leader. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't have a first-round leader. It's 2 weeks ago. Like, dude, not doing it like the week after makes everything all messed up.
But we have another 2 weeks break coming up.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a problem for us. I had Rico Hoey top 5 each way there. That was nice. Brian Campbell finished T20, baby. And he cashed it plus 650. I landed all of his stuff. The win, man, I was getting excited at 600 to 1 when it was the rain. It was literally the rain that screwed him up because he was finding the wind. And it was that rainy Saturday that he completely sucked it up and shot a 75. He shot 67, 68, 66. So shout out to Brian Campbell. On bent grass greens, you play Brian Campbell because he makes putts just from everywhere.
Oh, is he playing this? You're playing on bent.
Yeah, we are playing on bent. I don't
even know if he's playing. I don't think he is.
Let's take a look. I should know this. He's not playing.
So we had that going on. But last week we had a little golf in India this past week. And of course, Tommy Fleetwood with another victory. Tommy's probably been the best player in the world the last 10 weeks, right? Moves in, he wins the tour championship, plays well in the Ryder Cup, wins this India tournament. He's won back-to-back events. He's played 2 out of 3. I think he didn't win Wentworth, but like 2 out of 3 that he's played, pretty solid by him. Is this coming up year? Is this the year of Tommy? Do we see him take that next step and win a major? Is he on that level now, Byron?
I think so, Kenny. It's super difficult. It's super difficult to do, but he seems in control of his game, man. Jesus, he's playing such good golf. And I was home with Piper the whole day. That's my kid, by the way, Kenny, not my dog. We were chatting about this before the show. And Kenny also read the message wrong, but I was home with the sick kid. So Tommy wanted to win that tournament because he's never had Frankie run up onto the green and hug him after a win. And he's won a couple in Europe, which you'd think Frankie's got to be there, but no. So this time round, Tommy balled out. He balled out, man. He was like 7 under par in the final round. And that golf course is difficult. Rory took the driver out the bag the whole week. So you got to just keep it in play. It was fantastic to watch. Dogs running around, Kenny, on the greens. Just dogs running onto the greens as people are trying to putt. It was kind of crazy. So
I once I was at my home course. I was on the 4th tee box, and it's right by this row of houses. Townhouses, and there was a little puppy that was running around. A little cute puppy. We were playing with him. We went up to the tee box. And I did my little 50% first practice swing. Knocked that dog right in the fucking head. Right in the head. Luckily, it was like a 40% swing. It was not
with your driver or with the ball.
Driver with my drop. It ran right across from me, and so the owner wasn't pissed. It ran right in front of my swing. I didn't see it, But the one thing I will say is it probably never ran back down to the tee box ever again, because I gave it a nice little clock, a little bit harder.
It could
and
not
it would have
run
been
anymore.
instead, but
He might have thought he was running to the tee box.
yeah. But yeah,
The
not many
sushi box.
stray dogs in Korea. I can tell you that right now. They actually had to shut down all the Korean dog restaurants during the Olympics last time they were there. They're like, close. We'll give you a little money. You can open back up when all the tourists leave. For the dog restaurants in Korea. And dog is fucking delicious. I've had it before. I did not know that I was eating dog. I was like 7 with my grandfather. Him and his boys go out to this little mountain hiking and grill out and gamble and drink and grill. Every Sunday when I was in Korea.
All the sins in the world.
Yeah, I visited when I was like 7 years old. So I went with him every weekend, and we ate good every weekend. And on the flight home, I told my mom, I was like, man, I'm gonna miss that. It was delicious, like that meat that we grilled up every Saturday. When we went up to the mountains. She's like, you know what you're eating, right? I was like, I have no idea, but it was fucking delicious. I didn't say fucking delicious because I was 7, but you get the idea. And she was like, yeah, that was
gone good.
I was like, what do you mean that was dog? She was like, yeah, that's dog. And here's the thing, like in Korean, ge is dog and crab, right? There's a little bit of a pronunciation difference, but not much. It's in that first syllable, but you can't really tell. I can't really tell when I was 7 years old. Very, very similar sounding words. And so I was like, that's not crab, right? That wasn't crab. There's no way that was crab. That was like meat, beef. She was like, no, ge, dog. I was like, oh, it was delicious. Haven't had it again. Probably will never have it again. But I've had dog once. I am Korean, so it happens. When it comes to Tommy, I think this could be his year. I mean, the thing is, he's a little bit older than what people think. He's like in his mid-30s, right? This is like sort of like his last shot at becoming, one of the top players, like top 2 or 3 top players in the world. First time he's been in the top 5 in the world golf rankings. He just got in after that win in India. This is the time to do it. He's got the confidence. His headspace has got to be strong now, right? He's got that win in America, for $20 million, however much money he won with that tour championship. There's a little bit of people speaking in the background talking about he hasn't won a full field event, blah, 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 whatever. He got that W, and I think more W's are coming. I think we look for Tommy at majors this year. I think if the PGA Championship is doable, I think the Open Championship is doable. I think I'm on Tommy this year, and he's gradually become my favorite golf. Even after the Ryder Cup, it's just the way he plays the game, the way he conducts himself. It brings back memories of an olden day where how you acted and how you represented yourself was just as important in the pro game as how you played. Not just as important, but a big factor. And it's what people expected from golfers. And I'm not, going to go all woke and say that's the way it should be, or I get the times nowadays are different, and we're in a different type of landscape when it comes to the world. But you sort of look out for yourself. You look out for number one. You do what's best for you. And that's just sort of the way the world is nowadays. But the way Tommy acts and the way he presents himself, I think he's a great person to look up to if you have kids that want to get into the game of golf. I would try and push Tommy Fleetwood on those guys, not a Rory, not even a Scotty. I would, yeah. Well, I mean, because the thing is, Scotty still gets real pissy on the course. He gets real pissy on the course. He shows a lot of he still shows that frustration out there. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about the way golf used to be and the way golf has been, but it has changed. That shit like that you never saw 30, 40, 50 years ago. And
guys losing their shit on the course?
Yeah. You didn't see that when I was first watching golf? You didn't.
Was golf like a lot easier, Kenny, back then?
I don't think so. But I mean,
I was not getting angry.
You ever see Greg Norman? Greg Norman lost fucking 7-stroke lead at the Masters. You never saw him, do anything insane. You never saw him smash clubs on the ground. You never saw him cuss out loud. It was a different time back then. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying that's the way it was, and that's the way and I think I'm not a parent, so I don't know. That's the way I would expect that I would want my kids to look up to. Is something like that, like a Tommy, who's out there,
not Scotty Scheffler,
children, shows love to his unbelievable sportsmanship, who goes out there, who even in the worst possible situations can come out and talk to the media and not have this anger fit where he doesn't talk to the media for a while, where he slams clubs on the ground, because there's been so many instances where it's pretty obvious that that's probably how he was feeling, right? And so I think that's, and this is just me. I'm not a parent. You're the parent, right?
I couldn't agree more with you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fantastic role model. Like, the guy's a true icon of the game now, and the epitome of sportsmanship, I would say. Like the way he handles defeat when he lost to JT at the Ryder Cup, and Kenny, when he went and walked over to the side of the green and like takes his hat off and starts playing with his hair, you just know there's disappointment on the way. That's his like signature serpent pose, like surrender serpent. And he did that against JT in the Ryder Cup. And I knew that putt was going in before he even rolled it, because he just knows, like the same as when he lost the Travelers to Keegan. He did the same thing on the side of the green there. But those are 2 times that he handled himself fantastically in the heat of the battle when the stakes were probably the highest in his career, and he's now one of the bona fide Ryder Cuppers ever to walk. He'll be a captain for certain, and he'll be a fantastic captain too. Like that's what I think can really tell you if you're a good role model, is if you're going to be a good Ryder Cup captain in the future, because people need to like you, and you need to be charismatic, and you need to be smart and good at golf and balled out in the Ryder Cup, so, and it's your name's Keegan Bradley, but things like that. So we got a lot of good things to talk about with Tommy there, and the fact that they're going to India and playing in these tournaments is so cool.
That is cool.
Like this time of the year, we need these guys.
The first last year. Bryson went last year, and it was a really big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Great course for Bryson, by the way.
What's up?
They never played there last year, did they? So.
Oh no, it wasn't at that.
I was going to say, Bryson going to that golf course makes like 0 sense. It's just like,
it was not that course, but
anyway.
I will say, so I did have that scramble, the Nova Classic, and we are the first time repeat champions. I will say, got the belt going again. It was a nice little tournament. I will say that we started off pretty shitty, and I took your advice and started drinking. We were only 3 under after 9, or after 11, in a scramble, and we actually had four birdies and a bogey. We bogeyed a really long par 3. It's the toughest hole in the course. And so we had one guy who literally, it was the 3 of us were just playing like shit, and this one guy was just keeping us alive. He's the guy. It was his home course. He kept us alive. And so during that time, I just started drinking a little bit. And then by the 12th hole, the buzz was strong. It was like that good, solid golfing buzz. The issue is, and why I tend to not drink on the golf course, is I don't stop at that buzz. Once I get there, I just keep on going. So that buzz lasts for 2 or 3 holes. And then I'm obliterated, and it's too much, and the game goes to shit, right? So it's just something that I can't do, right? It's hard for me to drink a minimal amount. But I kept the pace good. I didn't get too sloppy, but by the 18th hole, I was pretty fucked up. But so it's we were 3 under after 11, and then we finished 7 under on the last 7 holes. So that was, and this is not an easy course. It's a pretty tough course. There's 12 groups. The winning score is usually, I'd say 12 to 15 under, around there. I think we were 13 last year. when we won. I don't know why it played a little bit more difficult this year. It wasn't that breezy, a little bit chilly. Not really sure why it played, but it did. And so we didn't know this. But so going into that hole, I started playing really well. Hit some really nice drives. On 15, I hit a gap wedge to 110 to within 2 feet. On 16, I hit a 9-iron about 135 to within a 1.5 feet. Both tap-ins on back-to-back approaches. So that was nice. And then I think we parred 17, which is the tough par 3. And then we're going into 18 and we're 8 under. It's a par 5, about 520. I would say 460 yards, probably 460. Not the longest par 5, but there's water all along the right side, trees all along the left. I had a pretty good drive. It leaves us about 210. 200 to the pin, but my buddy goes last, and he's the worst driver out of all 4 of us, right? But he hits this like drive, and it just hugging the tree line with a little bit of cut, and it just pounds that cart path twice. Boom, boom. We're about 155 to the pin. After that, but we didn't even hit a good approach. We probably hit it to about 25 feet. And it's dark. We're one of the last groups out. The sun is setting. Can't really see stuff. The first 3 of us go. We missed the putt. Last guy goes, and what we don't know this time is there's 3 teams already in at -9. They're at -9. They're already in. They're all tied for the lead, and so everyone's outside, watching from the patio. And my buddy John drains the 25-footer for eagle, like gets in on the left side, roll, like lips in. Beautiful. We just get hype, and we were 10 under, and so we don't think we're gonna win. I'm thinking we might get top 3, right? Maybe the top 3 if we're lucky. But for some reason we go in and everyone's tied at 9 under. And so we got in, we eagled the last to win the scramble. So it was pretty big. It was nice. It was fun. It was a good time. Next year we'll go for 3 in a row.
That's awesome, dude. That's so great. And to make that final putt, it's amazing. It's like
He's been
really
playing well all day. So it was really good to see him do it. He had some rotator cuff problems. He had to take cortisone to play. He had to take a shot to play because he wanted to play because we won last year. So his swing wasn't as good as it normally was, but that putt was huge.
But he's going to be walking around there with no shoulders after next year. I mean, we're going to have to.
I know. Especially he got 3 kids too, and so he's lifting them all up. He's all fucked up.
Oh my God,
but,
good dude.
Nice. So it was a nice little win, little trophy. Some balls, gift card. But it's more. Most everyone that plays in this knows each other. We've been playing it for so many years. I think it's been about 20 years with like a 5-year break where we didn't play. That we've been doing this for a long time. So,
way to go, Kenny. To kind of share a story of when I was in college, we went and hung out at my buddy's house over the summertime and played in a 4-man the following day at his local country club. But we got to bed kind of like we were at our boys' weekend when you guys came to Iowa. We got to bed at 4:00 in the morning. We went across the river to Illinois, and I partied at a dance club there like till 3:00. And I danced my face off. This was back when I was like skinnier and fit and I could still do it. On the second hole, we teed off at 9:00. On the second hole of the day, I'd burned 3,000 calories already. Which is what you burn in a good day, exercising.
Burn 3,000 calories, it would be the equivalent to walking like 25 miles.
Yeah. And I'd burned 3,000 calories by the time we teed off on the second hole. I was a broken man.
5-mile walk yesterday, and I burned 450 calories.
Yeah, exactly. So I was at 3K right at 9:00 in the morning, and I did nothing the whole day. You've seen me play hungover. I'm not good when that's hungover. And on the final hole, we have the same situation. Got a 30-footer that like the guys need to make. I make it to get us into a playoff. I completely suck in the playoff, but we win the playoff. And that was the only thing I did was make that 30-foot bomb on the last hole somehow are still surviving, and we got into the playoffs. So 3,000 carries on the second tee box. I'd love to see someone that does that in the future.
I've actually passed out in the middle of a scramble before. Like I've passed out in the middle by the 12th hole. So it was at Royal Newkent, which is like one of the top courses in Virginia. I've told this story before on the pod. And it was a strip club, Paper Moon Strip Club, had the golf tournament there. And so I think tee time started at like 8:00, and we were drinking Cuervo Black from before the first tee on the drive up, because he had to drive from Roanoke. So about a couple hour drive, hour and a half to get there. And we played in the tournament. I was just pounding liquor the whole time. Like the first hole we putt, and there's a girl at every hole, and like she straddles the hole with her like pussy like as the backboard, with just banging putts like into her shit, and like that fucking shit goes in the hole. Like you pick up the ball, it's like moist, All right. Right. And so we're on the night, and on the turn, I forget, it was a scramble, so I don't remember which hole it was for us, but at the turn there's lap dances and stuff like that. So you get your little lap dance, you give the girls some money, and so we're on the tee box and we tee off, and me and my buddy who was in the cart, we had maybe a few $100s in singles, and so we start driving down the middle of the fairway, like, and just yelling at the girls from followers, and just start tossing like singles like out the side of the cart. And we look back, and there's like a gaggle of strippers just like running down the fairway, just grabbing all the bills all over the place. And so by my 12th hole, I was so drunk I fell asleep in the cart. I just passed out. And I think if you live in Roanoke right now, and I don't even know if the Hooters in Roanoke is still open, but the guy who invited me was a GM of Hooters back then in Roanoke. And there's still, when I lived there was a picture of me in the corner. You know how they have the pictures of like all the parties and stuff of Hooters, like the walls and stuff. There's a picture of me in the corner, passed out with just stripper titties, just all over my face. Like 3 or 4 pairs of just stripper titties, like all like right here. And I'm just asleep. I didn't even notice it. Slept for the last like 5 holes, passed out. Don't remember anything much except for those instances. I don't remember how he played, what happened. But that
Kenny, was that not the greatest day of your life? Those 12 holes, like playing golf at a golf day sponsored by a strip club with strippers on the course. That's like your happy place, man. That is that.
If it was net today, it would be. Back then, I wasn't as stripper conscious strip club conscious as I am now. Okay. I was sort of, still a little wet between the ears and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When it came to strip clubs. But I mean, still, it was a great time. And I was broke back then. So I couldn't get all the shit that I, would want to do today, done. And nowadays it'd be fine.
Driving down the fairway, flinging $100 dollar bills out the golf cart like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
it was Wolf of Wall Street is just, it's what dreams are made of, Kenny. I'm
funny.
like, that has to have been easily the best day of your life.
It was great.
I'm so sad for you that it wasn't now.
Right. It was just back in, I was passed out by the 12th hole. I don't remember nothing. I don't even remember anything. But I will say the funniest part about this is a few years later, a buddy of mine, he moved into the Richmond area and joined Royal Newkent. It's a semi-private club. And I told him about this tournament, and he says that he'd been a member for a couple of years, and I told him about this tournament. He said there have been rumors about this tournament, but no one in the club believed it ever happened. Right? I guess they didn't let members in during that day or something like that. I don't know. So there was always rumors about this tournament, and I'm the one who finally said those rumors are true, because I played in the tournament, and he told all his boys they got a good kick out of it. And I always see a whole bunch of stuff. That course is really nice right now, one of the nicest courses in Virginia. I'd say top 50 courses in Virginia, and there's probably 1,000 courses in Virginia. And so it's sort of funny every time I see that course's name pop up for something.
Incredible. That's truly incredible, Kenny. I mean, I can't imagine playing golf with a bono like for the entire round. Like that just doesn't. That just seems difficult. It just seems impossible.
That was back then when my shit worked without drugs. So yeah,
I know. So anyway, maybe that's when you come over the top. But anyway, your swing plane gets a little off kilter there. But we're going to. Shall we get to this course preview?
Let's do it. Let's talk about this course. It's only the second time we've ever been here. Let me pull my info
up. The floor is lava. If you miss the fairway, there is lava. Molten rock. Lava.
That is
it's
not the PGA Tour has
searing hot
for the Bank of Utah Classic. This is a new course on tour. Like I said, it's only the second time it's ever been played here. It's actually a brand new course overall. Like the course is opened in 2023. So like this is as new can get. This Weiskopf designed course is going to be unique. It's going to look great. It looks great on TV with that black rock on the side. At first look, it really, and even after what we saw last year, I mean, truly the main defense of this course is going to be wind. I would say that's the main defense of the course. If you get windy conditions, you could see scores in the mid-teens around there, but that's not what we're going to see this year. It's going to be, last year was very, very hot and light winds. This year, a little bit cooler with light winds. So I still expect, low to mid 20 under par to win this event is what I would like, what I think is going to happen. Like even the greens, even though they were brand new, they weren't like super firm last year. They'd sort of grown in already in a year, which is pretty impressive. I don't know what they did. And also, the fairways are pretty firm here too, because, above the lava is the base, then they put sand, and then they put the greens, or the fairway. And so all that sand being there, man-made, causes it for really good drainage, because they don't have to worry about how the place was before. They're just packing in sand, throwing in the grass on top above of, hardened lava, right? So you'll see some firm fairways. Correlated courses, you could see Scottsdale. I think that's a Weiskopf course, if I'm not mistaken. And also it's a desert course. That's something that you could see. I mean, maybe the Amex, you see desert golf a bunch. Those are some correlated. Summerlin, where they used to play the event in Vegas in the fall. Good off the tee, good wedges, birdie makers, good putting is basically what you're going to look for this week. And looking at the leaderboard from last year, it really didn't nothing really shouted out. Like, okay, it's bombers. Okay, it's plotters. Okay, it's great putters. Okay, it's shitty. It's a team no putt. Like it was all over the place. So judging based upon last year, I mean, just based on, course history, I don't know. I probably wouldn't pay attention to that at all, because I don't think it's going to take a few years to see what it really takes to fare well at this course, because the leaderboard last year just had me confused as fuck. What about you looking at the leaderboard? Like, do you have any take on what you expect to see? What type of golfers you expect to succeed?
No. It's like we said for the Yokohama Country Club. I think that's kind of a similar comp in a way. It's difficult if you skew, but if you're in the fairway, you don't want to be hitting out of molten lava rock. Sometimes you can't even get out.
Well, let's get to the meat of the course here a little bit. So, because the thing about it is, some of these fairways are really wide, really wide. Some are narrow, but the Black Desert Golf Course, 7,400 yard par 71, four short par threes, 3 reachable par fives, 2 reachable par fours. The course is about 3,000 feet above sea level, so golfers are going to have to deal with altitude. This is going to drop the course yardage to 6,900, 7,000 around there. So don't let that 7,400 number skew you. This is a short course. Okay. The course is short enough for plotters, I think, to have a chance But I think distance could help as long as you stay out of the crazy stuff. The thing is, off the tee, you're gonna see fairways that are average 30 yards, but there's also some fairways that are like 70 yards. There's a fairway that's 100 yards wide, right? So I mean, it's very skewed differently when it comes to the widths of these fairways. But on average, not including like the 100 and the 70 yard, which would skew all the numbers, it's about 30-yard average for these fairway widths. Very little rough, maybe 2 inches of Kentucky bluegrass is what you're going to see. There's going to be a few bunkers in the landing zones. The bunkers shouldn't be too much of a hazard, and there's only water on 2 holes. Now, here's the thing. If you do miss wildly, that's when you're going to see like the crazy shit, right? Think of like the Amex, or I would think of the Amex, or Waste Management, where if you hit it into that desert area, you got desert vegetation, all the desert stuff. Well, here, instead of like desert sand, it's lava, hardened lava. It's what you're hitting it into. And the thing is, depending on the vegetation, the lie won't be that horrible, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to remember from last year, and I can't really remember how it is. But as long as you stay out of the vegetation, I think you're okay. It's something that I'm going to have to look through more as the week goes on. I did not have as much time as I normally have to prep this week because I went and visited a possible weed farm that I might be building. So it's actually hilarious right now because we might be building this weed farm, legal weed. It's legal. Okay. It's for medicinal purposes.
Oh my God.
It's like a hydroponic like greenhouse where they're going to, grow weed, like commercial weed. The funny thing is I'm also in the middle of building a penis enlargement surgery center. Right. So I'm trying to convince these guys. I'm like, yo, let me take like a point or 2 off. Get me some free shit. Let me get the big dick. Let me get the good weed. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that works out because the dick doctor is what we call it. We call it the dick doctor. It's going to be like, 1.3 million, right? 1.2 million probably. It's going to be in the millions. To build it, because it's going to be like a class 4A surgery center. And like, this dude is like famous. Like he has his own like YouTube channel and like with like millions of views, and like people from like all over the world, like come to his ass to get like the big dick.
Come for his ass as well.
Like, come to his ass. That's
close. He is like
crazy.
He's like the big dick specialist. So we're building, part of this is a VIP area.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't there be?
He gets people that fly in from like Dubai and shit, right? and like Korea and like all the small dick countries. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the
small dick countries.
All the tiny dick countries. The VIPs just fly the fuck in, right? And they got this. So we're building this really nice like VIP area, like marble and shit for the waiting room, like beautiful. So yeah, this dude's a real fucking deal. And so I told him, I was like, yo, I'll take a point off. Let me get that free big dick.
For a point on.
We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can get that free big dick and some free weed.
Well, you have to let us know.
That would be that would be we're talking about the course here.
Black Desert.
Incredible. Funny because it's
Black Desert.
Desert
Black Kenny's black dick.
Utah.
Okay. The black D.
Right? And it can't smoke weed. So that's where we are. We are in Utah. Let's get back to the course. So, like I said, you don't want to miss these fairways, but these fairways are fairly wide. And I think, the course is short enough where you could be a plotter or you could be long. I think there's a lot of different ways to win this event. I think the biggest thing, what we saw last year, was a guy who putted his ass off, right, onto these greens. And now on these approach shots, you're going to see large greens, like 5, 6, 7,000 square feet greens. and they don't really have that much slope or undulation. There are runoff areas and bunkers and some rough around the green, but I wouldn't put any emphasis on short game. If you're missing these greens, you're fucked. You're fucked and you're done, right? So the greens are bent grass, around 11 to 12 on the stimp for this. And Byron left, and I was just about to ask him, what are you looking for in golfers this week? Because it's been a little bit of a struggle for me.
At this course? Or
at this course.
Yeah. I'm asking about your struggles, Kenny. We can chat about that later. But it sounds like you got the right connections. I'm so sorry. That was one of the craziest course previews we've ever done because
I don't know why. I don't know why it just came up. I was just thinking about it.
It was just out of nowhere.
When I watch it back, I'm gonna be. I want to see what led to that because something triggered that thought.
The rabbit hole. Okay, yeah, it was an early situation there, but hey, it was good stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Like you said, asked me halfway through that amazing course breakdown. Anyone can do anything here. You know, the course allows itself to allow any golfer to succeed. I do think guys that typically thrive in scrambling, like around the green, like you mentioned, I want to see guys who struggle with the short game, chipping and putting, but it's mainly got to do with chipping. Because then you're going to be putting a lot more when you should have missed the green because the greens are that much bigger, right? So instead of chipping, you're going to be putting. So if you're a good putter but a bad chipper, this course plays into your game. Where Eric Van Rooyen won at the WWT in Mexico, same situation. Wide fairways and big greens. Remember, guys are hitting like 90% of their greens. So you're barely chipping. So if you're a good putter, and a bad chipper, this is the kind of course I'm looking for you to survive and thrive at. So anyone's in, let's go. I also like Yokohama as a good kind of a calm course. You got to wideish fairways, but once you miss them, you're in trouble. So can go low in that situation. All right, Kenny. Yeah. No. What's up?
Were you going to go bets?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so just looking at bets, just looking at like what type of golfers I was trying to look at when I made these bets, and these are early in the morning.
Kickback
golf.
We
were chatting about all of Kenny's kickbacks earlier. Now is a perfect time to kind of introduce kickback golf to the show. Use code FGD15 to get yourself 15% off there when buying. Mike, you're wearing a nice Blue Jays jersey, but I'm assuming that's not available on the store. Complete tangent there, but there are nice, awesome jerseys available to you guys. All the golfers doing their thing, basketball jerseys, baseball jerseys, and their alma maters on those jerseys for you guys there. So go ahead, do that. We're going to need Kenny to get back with his storytelling and the Scotty Scheffler updates, Tom Kim cut a bitch type stuff. So we need to get that sourced through the kickback golf.
It's a lot easier for me to tell stories that are like what was really happened to me or what is really happening to me than make shit up. So that's why it's sort of tough to bring back those stories because then I actually
But it's also because people are not using code FGD15.
My brain is so shot nowadays that the only time I can get that creative is when I reach a certain level of fucked upness that I'm trying to not get to very often anymore. So
yes.
So that whole Scotty Scheffler deal was like a freaking bender that I went on, and I was just writing shit down, bender. But I don't, so that doesn't really happen that much anymore. That's why it's a little bit difficult, and that's why it's a lot easier to tell stories. Like the strip club story, the golf tournament story, and the Dick Doctor guy. But
kickback golf bets.
Gonna be Kurt Kitayama.
For the Black D.
Kurt Kitayama, 33-1, 3 places. Kitty comes in as my number 1 ranked golfer in my model. My model this week is very simple. I'm not going to because the course is so new. Strokes gained tee to green, off the tee, approach, putting, birdies. par four score. Basically, that's about it. You know, but in the last 24 rounds, he's number one in the field in birdie or better gains, second in strokes gained approach, fifth in tee to green. He comes into the event with 3 top 10s in his last 6 events, including a win at the 3M. So I really do like Kitayama. Jason Day, 40-1, 3 places. He's the biggest brand name there is. He's a guy you can get exceptionally hot with the putter. What we saw with McCarty last year was a guy who was a good putter get hot with his good putter, right? That's the one thing that we could glean from last year. You know, Jason doesn't have to play this event. I think he's already in for whatever he needs to be in for next season, right? I mean, he has 4 top 10s in signature events.
Correct.
Yeah,
41st. He's getting paid by the Mormons big time. To be out here.
He's getting, you know, he's in. So I don't know. He's playing this course for a reason. Maybe he likes it. Hopefully. But the thing is, one thing is, 5 of his career wins have come on pure bent grass, more than almost everyone else in the field, almost combined, outside of the guys who have 1. Right. You know, a 40-1 with 3 places. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw him down. Right, just because I think the talent wise, and if he's going to win an event, I mean, why not a scrub event in the fall where he's probably one of the top 5 best golfers in the field, right? And I can get 40-1 with 3 places. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it on that one. Next, it's going to be Bazinhoot, your boy, 30-1 with 8 places. He's coming in solid form so far in the fall. Finished 6th at Sanderson and 10th in Japan. Probably could have been in, medal top 3 position in Japan because he hit his irons so well. He gained 5.6 strokes with his irons that week. What failed him was his putting, which is usually his strength, right? So I'm hoping, that he continues hitting those irons the way he has. His putter gets back to normal. He's played well in altitude before. He won some Gary Player Invitational in South Africa. Right?
We live at altitude. Yeah. We grew up at altitude.
So. Yeah. I mean, he won there. He's played well in desert golf.
Some
runner-ups in Qatar, runner-up in Dubai, runner-up in the Amex, 4th at Scottsdale. Right? I mean, and what you do, I think he's top 5 all-time money without a win.
Bez?
Top 5. Bez is top 5 because he's played so many big money events. Maybe it's top 10. I think it's top 10. Yeah. He's top 10 most money made without a win. We also do have number 1, I think, here. No, Benny's not playing. Benny's number 1, Norton's number 3 in that list of most money won without a win.
And Bez did that by finishing second to an amateur. So he got the Amex winner's prize money, which helps a lot, because technically won that prize money,
That is true. But Bez is one of my favorites. I do like Bez. I like him in all formats this week. Next, again, this card's a little strange. I don't know if I'm not going to match a lot of people this week. I'm going Max Homa, 35-1 with 8 places. Homa's iron game looks back to normal. It looks solid. He's gained in 7 straight events after losing strokes with his irons in 5 straight, right? We know the talent is there. He's been fighting his swing, but I do like the fact that he's playing a bunch in the fall, trying to move up, as far as he can to get as close to signature events as possible, right? I don't know where he's ranked right now, but I think it's like 90 something. He needs to get into that 50th.
He's 100th. He's 100th on the FedEx Cup list. Yeah.
He needs some good. He has his card, but he needs some decent finishes here to try and get his status better, right? And not have to worry about sponsors, invites, and other stuff like that when it comes to these events. Yeah. But I do like the way that he's playing. He's had some really low rounds recently. He hasn't been able to string them together. My dog's going fucking nuts upstairs right now, but I don't know what's going on.
Can't hear it.
He's stringing. He's having trouble stringing it together. Now he's going on a course. I'm hoping that he can catch some form on a birdie fest and keep it going for a few rounds now, especially the way his iron game has looked recently. So those are like the 4 main bets right there, all between 30 and 40-1. A couple long shots. Grayson Sigg, 90-1, 8 places. coming up with solid form so far in the fall, 19th at the Pro Tour while gaining 8.5 strokes with his irons, 21st at Sanderson while gaining strokes in every strokes gained metric that week. Excels on easier courses, and bent is his best putting surface. So I do like Grayson Sigg 90-1, and then Frank Sappin the third. It's Sappin, not Capin. I did not know that. It's Frank Sappin the third, in the same vein as Jaeger last year, right? Who finished runner-up, sort of a shitty driver of the golf ball, but who could putt his ass off when needs be, right? And so he had his first top 10 on tour ever at the Sanderson, right? And has been known to get hot and stay hot when he was on the Corn Ferry Tour. If you look at his Corn Ferry Tour records, a lot of back-to-back really, really strong finishes in his career there. And now he finally got the big one on tour, a 6th place finish. Let's see if we can ride that momentum. 275-1 with 8 places. So, it's just a flyer out there. So the 6 bets I got: Kitayama, 33-1, 3 places. Jason Day, 40-1, 3 places. Bezuidenhout, 30-1, 8 places. Homa, 35-1, 8 places. Grayson Sigg, 90-1, 8 places. Frank Sappin, the third, 275-1 with 8 places.
Let's go. All right, so we're going to hit a winner this week. Fantasy Golf Degenerates is going to hit a winner because
I feel it
I don't have anyone.
I feel it too, brother.
I don't have anyone you have, so we got 2 cards out there for sure. We're wrapping this field up like they do in Utah. All right, so 16-1, playing amazing golf, almost had a chance to win out in Japan. Love the course fit, translation, love the form. Michael Thorbjornsson, he's not going to be a surprise to see on people's betting cards. 16-1, going to grab the 6 places there at Bet Rivers. Love what's going on here. He's also one of the guys that kind of technically struggles around the greens a little bit. He's extremely solid putting, driver, irons, loser strokes around the greens. Again, we're not going to have that much of that chipping and putting from this week's tournament. Kevin Yu is going to be my next guy on the card, 25-1. You can find him at multiple books at that price. Going to grab the 5 places each way there. Again, same blueprint. This guy can make putts. He can hit bombs. He can sink bombs. He can hit his irons well. He can't chip for shit. Guess what? Don't need to chip this week. I love that from Kevin Yu. Playing some great golf. I mean, he's been 20th at the Baycurrent, 11th at the Sandersons. He's got a 3rd at the RBC Canadian. This guy's a winner. Obviously won it at the Sandersons last year, so he can get it done when he needs to. Give me him. Then my 3rd guy is going to be Emiliano Grillo. I'm just looking at the total strokes gained, Kenny. This is as simple as I've gone here. Total strokes gained, and I'm looking for guys that literally lose strokes around the green. Because that strokes gained is going to be even higher without that missing deficit that they have in their game. So
What
Emiliano
number did you get for Grillo?
I'm looking at a 40-1 for Emiliano Grillo.
That's the one guy that I thought about hard and left off. So that could be the guy.
Yeah, well, you never want to be thinking about golf bets when you're hard, Kenny. You really got to focus it when you're going to make these decisions. What had you off of him? What got you off him?
I have no idea what you're talking about at this moment in time.
What got you off Emiliano Grillo?
Oh, I wanted the what my card was looking at the time. I decided to go Homa instead of him, probably, or Homa or Day would be the other two that were on the edge.
You want to cash Day out and just get Grillo in there?
I mean, you got Grillo. I want one of us is going to win it.
Okay, we're going to wrap this thing up. Okay, all right, all right, let's go. Cool. So Emiliano Grillo, one of the best iron players in this field. If you can't make putts, hit it close. Let's go. That's what you got to do here. He's going to take care of business. He can win golf tournaments. He randomly shows up and gets it done. He's retweeted some of my stuff on Twitter back in the day, so I've got a little soft spot for Emiliano Grillo in my heart. Also, when he got into the playoff at the Charles Schwab, and he let those 2 kids watching him warm up on the tee box come over and hit his golf clubs on the driving range while he was That is just the best. So I'm all about Emiliano Grillo, 40-1. The guy's fantastic on the ball striking front, can make a couple putts when he's feeling it. Sucks around the greens, doesn't matter around
with 8 places right now. This is tempting. I think maybe I'll wait for if he does anything and looks good after day 1, I might live bet him. I have a little bit of room.
Okay. I'm happy with that. That can work for us. We are also in this together. So those are my 3 bets for us going forward. 16-1. Michael Thorbjornsen, drop that hammer, baby. Kevin, you want to win this bet, 25-1. And Emiliano Grillo, 40-1 for us over there at Bet365. Kenny, let's get into some DFS blood, sweat, and DFS tiers for the Black D this week. Interesting field. I'm curious to kind of get you in the mood to chat about today. So let's do the 3 guys at the top.
Let's just go a little bit lower. I want to throw a curveball at our producer Mike right now, and I'm going to go with my hustler play of the week for the first play, and it's not in the 10K range. It's going to be just below. It's going to be Jason Day. I think Jason Day, if you look at the top 6 golfers priced, Maverick McNeely, Alex Noren, Thorpe, Day, Kitayama, Kevin Yu, I think Jason Day might be the lowest owned of those 6. I think it's a very good chance that he is. And like I said in the betting segment, a guy who's pretty good off the tee, is up and down with his irons, but can putt his ass off. That's how it won it last year, right? I want that hot putter to get, that good putter to get hot. And that's what I'm hoping. I like Jason Day from an ownership perspective. Hopefully I'm right about that. I have no clue. I am not an ownership guru. But just looking at those 6 names, the highest ranked, the highest priced player is always going to be highly owned. Always. We saw it last time at the Japanese tournament. I forget who the highest priced guy was, but he was the one of the highest owned in the field. I think it was Xander, maybe.
Yes,
he was Xander. He was like the highest owned in the field. It's just something you see.
This week, Kenny, I think it's going to be Thor. I think Thor is going to be at $10,000. Will be the highest owned.
I think Thor's going to be highly owned. I think Kitayama's going to be highly owned. Jason Day's going to be right in between them. You know what I'm saying? So I like Day as that nice GPP pivot hustler play of the week. When it comes to the guys in the 10K range, I don't think I'm going to play anybody. I think I'm going to go ahead and skip it. If I was playing it, I could say you can make arguments for all 3, but I like Alex Noren. I just sort of he's due at some fucking point in time, and he's just been playing too good of golf, and with this shitty field, just the numbers say it's his time.
He's such a grinder. I prefer like a bit more of a difficult, challenging, wholehearted course for him, where he can show off his scrambling skills, make those clutch 4-footers, 7-footers for par. I think that's Alex Noren's venue for me.
Shockingly, in this field, he's 20th in birdies or better in his last 24 rounds on the PGA Tour only. Yeah. And, he's won 2 events across the pond that don't count to that as well. So it's not like he hasn't been that great at it. Overall, through his career, yes, you're 100% correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been catching a little bit of fire.
Could not agree more. Him and Marco Pena should have been on the Ryder Cup team. And they weren't. I think it's incredible what they did without those 2 even. So I would. What's up?
The Americans could have used them.
Yes, I think so too. Michael Thorbjornsen will be my guy. I think he'll be highly owned. I'm riding this man. He's playing some good golf right now, man. And this is going to be where I want to be, flying through the rocks and rolling with Thor. I think this is the place he breaks through, because shit, dude, he had to go up against Max Griesemann and Xander Schauffele to try and win his first tournament. And both of those guys were just balling the fuck out in Japan. So there's no real pedigreed name here that can really steal his thunder. Maybe Jason Day does, which we'll all celebrate. But Thor, I think, has got a great chance to break through. It'll be likely the chalky option that I take at the top. Yeah. get different elsewhere. $9,500 and below, Kenny. I love Kevin Yu as my guy there. He's just solid, and he can make birdies like crazy. He might not finish top 10, but he can still score you top 10 points because he's just one of those guys. So I'm all in on Kevin Yu along with Emiliano Grillo. And you mentioned not to worry about course history. I wouldn't stay away from guys that played well here last year, though. There's a reason they played well. So either they like it here, either the course suits up for them, it suits their eye, whatever. I like Matt McCarty. I think especially coming off of almost shooting fucking 59. He made birdie with his second golf ball after he nuked it OB on 18 to shoot 60. He shot 60 after hitting it OB. So that was the last one. That's the last round of golf he played on a course that's kind of similar to what I think they had in Japan, in my opinion. Ben Cross greens as well in Japan, right? So Matt McCarty at 9K, defending champ. Let's see what he can do. I know he's the defending champ for the first time, Kenny, right? Are you in the mood for Matt McCarty?
I like your point. I forgot about that 59. Yeah, I remember that. I remember he was pissed off afterwards. Imagine being pissed off at a 60. But I get it. Right? These are pros. Imagine being pissed off at a fucking 60. But yeah, I can get behind it. The thing is, I just like so many people around him that it's going to be tough with my 3 lineups. So first off, Kurt Kitayama is going to be my first cash game cornerstone. Talked about him, of course, in the betting segment. Number 1 in the model, makes a ton of birdies. Tee to green is amazing. Iron play has been exceptionally strong. He has a win in a signature event. He has a win, recently in his last 6-7 starts. The guy knows how to get the W as well. So yeah, I'm a fan of Kitayama this week. He's my first cash game cornerstone. I like Grillo, like you talked about. During the betting segment. The problem with McCarty is I really like Bezuidenhout, who's going to be my second cash game cornerstone. Talked about him again during the betting segment. His form has been exceptional. He's had really good finishes in desert golf. He's used to the altitude, playing solid. He can putt his ass off. So second cash game cornerstone is best. But I also sort of like the Englishman at 8,800 with the solid iron game, really good putter. Again, another guy who makes a ton of birdies, and he's also really solid on par 4s. Again, par 71. So you get that extra par 4. I like Matt Wallace at $8,800 a lot. I like him more than McCarty, so that sort of probably eliminates McCarty from my field since I'm only rostering 13 to 14 golfers a week now in 3 lineups. That's it. So I'm not really playing that many guys anymore. But my next cash game cornerstone, if we're going to go into the 8K range, is Homa. Homa hasn't missed many cuts here recently since his play has come back up. I think the upside is there. I've seen him go low, in certain rounds. But the last few times that I've seen him play, right, he had that top 5. I'd say 5-6 starts ago in the Midwest. I have a feeling about Homa this week. That's why I took him with the 8 places. Just got a feeling I'm going to go with him as my third cash game cornerstone. And you know what? My last cash game cornerstone is in the 8K range. Also, where the hell did he go? I just lost him. It's going to be Mac Meisner at 8,000. Flat, right? 13th in approach in the last 24 rounds in this field, 7th tee to green, top 20 in birdies, top 10 off the tee. The guy's just having that all-around game. His troubles have been the short game, right? And so even his putting in this field isn't like the worst in the last 24 rounds. He's had some good finishes. He's been playing good golf. So the cornerstones for this week, and I don't have anyone under 8,000. So when we get to the 7K range, I'll tell you guys my 4 choices I'm going to have for my final 2 spots in cash. But my cash game cornerstones this week are going to be Kitayama at 9,800, Bezuidenhout at 8,900, Homa at 8,500, and Meisner at 8,000. Those are going to be my cash game cornerstones for this week.
Not that we have anybody that does this, but he's 9,600, Kenny, for Kurt Kitayama, not 9,800. No big deal. Just so that if there's one loser that wants to comment some random stuff, don't do it now. Kenny misspoke a little bit, rattling off his cornerstones for this week. I do love Rico Hoey, by the way, in the $9,000 range too. I'm actually going to probably add him at 25-1 to my betting card as well. Little complete random nugget and DFS tiers new for you guys. But Kevin, Rico Hoey is going to be back. He top 5 at Yokohama. It's a perfect golf course for him again with the ball striking side of things. He's got the broomstick putter now. He played well TPC Summerlin a couple years ago or last year when he almost won that tournament, which is also very deserty, altitudey. I kind of like that a lot for Rico Hoey. So I love this 9K range to start most of my lineups. I might throw Thor in a couple as well from the 10Ks. In the 8s for me, I love this 9K range. So I'm going to kind of load up on the boys in the 9s and then kind of skip this range going to the 7s. So I'm not necessarily that thrilled about anyone in this range. I'm kind of out on Bez. Really, I just can't do it with this guy. But again, Kenny, I'm down for you. Alex Smalley at $8,700 though makes a lot of sense from a ball striking perspective. He's not going to win this tournament, but he could finish third. So give me that guy as my second or third click into any lineup, probably my third. That seems fine to me. I'm also going to take a gamble on Max Homa, $8,500. But again, he's going to come in very popular. People are going to think he's undervalued at $8,500. He hasn't shown us yet that he can
do it for 4 rounds.
Can do it for 4 rounds. And we're getting the ownership like he has been. So it might take me off of him because I'm happy for him to have that one blow-up round and then, a third of the field, potentially. I mean, he's going to be very high-owned. I think he was quite high-owned in Japan, but it was a smaller field again. But yeah, he was very popular in Japan. So in the same price range, right? And he played okay in Japan too. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to go on with him, but in the 7s, Kenny, let's go. I like this range a lot. Doug Gim at a golf course like this seems like it makes tons of sense to me. He's just going to be bent grass greens, Doug Gim, wedgie festy type situation. Keep his ball in play in the fairways. Make those birdies. $7,600, Doug Gim. Lee Hodges makes a lot of sense at a driver-heavy golf course, kind of finding his groove again. If you can maybe almost... What do you think about Palmetto, where he won the CJ Cup in the Carolinas? Instead of lava, it was like sand. Similar kind of a course though. Barren landscape. Complete tangent there. So Lee Hodges for me at $7,400 makes a lot of sense. Kenny, where are you going?
I got 4 guys I have 15,000 left for my cash lineup if you use my 4 cash game cornerstones. And so the 4 guys I'm thinking about to fill those out is probably going to start with Vince Whaley. Just makes so many cuts. He just makes cuts. He makes every cut. Doesn't matter the course. He just makes cuts. And it's not like he's playing against a stellar field here, right? So I'm just gonna go. He's someone I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about Mark Hubbard at 7,700. Again, good iron game. He's been making a ton of birdies here recently. Good par 4 score. Excellent putter. Again, another guy in the top 10 of money who has not won on the PGA Tour yet. We've seen a couple of guys here recently, right? Cam Young and Fleetwood go ahead and get theirs.
Thomas Dietrich.
What's up? Dietrich.
Thomas Dietrich.
That was okay, sure. A little while ago. They got theirs. Other guys, the other 2 guys, I like Sam Ryder at 7,300. Again, he makes a lot of cuts. Overall, his stats aren't really there, but he scores really well on par 4s. For as shitty of a guy with his irons and just a little bit above average putter, he still makes a ton of birdies, right? If some of that can just come back on, like one of those features, catches a little heat, he can really go low. We've seen him. I think he has something. I know he has something, a bunch of low rounds. There was some stat I saw with him in a recent event where it was rounds under 65, 64 or something like that in the last, 5 years. He has a bunch. So I like Sam Ryder
First round leader guy as well.
Yeah.
Play him in showdown in round 1. First round leader markets. I think I'll be definitely looking at him again.
Yeah. Grayson Sig at 7K flat is another guy that I'm looking at in cash, and I can play in GPPs. We talked about him a bunch in the betting segment. I think he had a top 15 finish here last year as well.
Cool. Aldrich Potgieter, same situation. What does he do badly? Chip. What does he do well? Hit nukes off the tee, make putts on bent grass greens. Like, hello, high upside guy, total disaster waiting to happen as well if things don't go right. But he can win a tournament at $7,300. You can't say that about.
Sort of the same.
Yes, same thing, exact same thing. And I was going to jump back into this in the 76ers there to mention him and Thigala. I love them in the 7s too. So Cam Champ makes tons of sense, Kenny, because he's horrific around the greens, but can absolutely send it. So love this situation in the 7s here. Big time situations for all of these dudes. Maybe some Harry Higgs action at $7,000 in the desert. Seems like some fun if you're looking for a cheapy guy. 6K range, Kenny. How many guys are going over here? We got Quade Cummins, Andrew Putnam, Michael Brennan off the KFT tour.
Yeah, when I get down here, I was struggling here a bunch. I mean, Frankie Sappin is definitely someone I would be looking at with his solid finish, his last time out, and the propensity to get hot and stay hot, as we saw on the Corn Ferry Tour. Ben Coles with his iron game. Tee to green has been solid. Someone I could see at 6,900. After that, it was tough for me, man. I don't know how low I'll go. That's why maybe I stay away from the 10K range, go super balanced this week. I mean, who do you see down here?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. Maybe some David Skins action is where I'll be looking to go at $6,800. And then I think that's going to be it for me. Dunlap around this golf course, when he hits 1 or 2 drives just way too badly, that is just going to be in the rocks. And that's just going to cost him.
I was just thinking, these fairways are so wide, maybe he'd be okay. Because he
potentially. I love him in showdown, Kenny, because there's going to be a round where he doesn't have a bad one, and I like just playing him almost because he's likely going to just have a clunker and then a very good round as well. That's typically what he gets up to. So, yeah, I love the 7s. I love the 9s. So I think 9s and 7s are going to go kind of balanced like you too. I think I kind of like that avenue for DFS this week. All right, people. The Black Desert Resort will be hosting Banker Utah Championship League. We've got all the kits for you guys. We've got all the DFS blood, sweat, and tears. We've got the stories and course previews that you won't find anywhere else. Hit the like button.
You won't find a course preview like that anywhere else.
Nowhere else. And I say that with, I don't just talk shit. That is 100% fact. That course preview's unbeaten anywhere this week. This is the only home for that kind of stuff, if you guys enjoy that. Hit us up in the comments. Who's going to win this week? We forgot that someone must have picked Xander last week, so we will double. I will find you, and I'll hunt you down, and I'll get in contact with you. Don't you stress.
Byron won't find you. I will find you. Yes. Don't worry.
Yes. We will Liam Neeson your ass and get you hooked up into the Model Maniac Patreon. And let us know in the comments below who's going to win this week. The first name to guess it correctly will be in the Model Maniac Patreon next time round. So let us know that. Kenny, get us the hell out of here. I love you so much, my friend.
You can find me on X at KendoVT. Final card will be there. Live bets, all that good shit, stupid shit that I post on a daily basis because I'm bored. So make sure you follow at KendoVT. Should be a fun week. It should be visually stimulating with the black lava. It should be a good time. Let's win some motherfucking money. D10 Nation.